Hello, everyone. This is Rick, and welcome to Astral Club. This episode is The Dark Night of the Soul. Before I get started, I'd like to introduce a new patron on Patreon. His name is Gray Alien, and he has Astral Ascended level. If you are interested in supporting this channel, there'll be a link in the description. Now, this is probably the most difficult episode I've ever had to record. It's very emotional. I'll be honest with you, I've been putting it off because I know I have to relive it again. But I'm going to do, I promise, my absolute best. Before I get started, though, I think it's probably important to remind people what has preceded, especially since we're getting a lot of new people, and I know not everyone is necessarily up to date on all the videos. Real briefly, my name is Rick. I started this channel, Astral Club, and I've been astral projecting now all my life, which is at this point 60 years. Now, I know I don't sound a day over 59 and a half, but that's probably due to good living. At any rate, I've had a lot of fun with this channel, and I think we've all learned a lot together. Okay, how did we get to this point? Well, I was invited to join an astral guide school a number of months ago, and it's a great honor. And in this process, I've been learning a variety of lessons along with others in this class. Now, I'm the only one who still has a physical body. The rest of them have already passed over. So I'm some sort of a weird exception. I don't know whether that's good or bad. At any rate, we've been learning a lot of lessons, including forgiveness. However, in one particular lesson, I think I was selected because I have a lot of expertise in cult matters, in high control groups. I've been educating myself on this topic for over 15 years now. And there was, as above, so below, there's cults here. There's cults up there too. This particular individual was called Master, or the Master. And he could have ascended onto the mental plane or perhaps further, I don't know. But he chose to stay in the mid-astral because with his power, he could attract a following of souls who treated him like a god. And so he could have this experience of power. Well, their cries, I guess, were heard mentally somewhere on the astral plane. And there was a plan involving me. Our idea was to go to this plane where this astral cult was being held and to see if I could help free anyone. It was a difficult challenge. The master was very powerful. I just got a little bit of his power and I could feel how powerful he was. But he didn't really interpret us as threats. And he shouldn't have, certainly at that point, because we weren't. But I was able to partially convince one individual, who I later found out his name was Yvonne, that perhaps he should look into this master in the Akashic records whenever he could get away. Anyway, that experience was then over. And it was sometime later that I found out that Yvonne had succeeded in fomenting a rebellion within the cult. There was a good amount of people who wanted to leave. See, time went differently on that section of the plane, so much more time had passed than had passed for us here on the physical. The problem was he needed help because they couldn't just get up and leave. The master would have stopped them. You know, he might not notice one or two people, but he's going to notice if a lot of folks get up and try to leave because he was leeching power off of these people, becoming more powerful as he did so. So the idea was to bring myself, all of the students, and probably hundreds, if not thousands, of other astral guides who would exert their will for a period of time to create a thought wall that would be enough interference to allow all these souls that are trapped in this cult to leave if they chose to leave. So we all went there. Now, I was warned just to be part of the thought wall. They put me aside and warned me, just be part of the wall. Don't interact. And it was going fine. It was almost done. And about half of the cult left. The rest of them were in chaotic mess. And the master himself was extremely disturbed. He wasn't expecting this. It was a big surprise. But towards the end, the thought wall was weakening, and the master was gaining some control back. So he began to stop and regain control over Yvonne and a small group that Yvonne had formed around him that was kind of forming a rear guard. He was very brave, allowing all those others to escape. And I just couldn't stand to see Yvonne and his people be trapped there again. So I made a mistake. I shouted out essentially psychically to the master to tell him to leave these people alone and let them go free. Well, he forgot about Yvonne and his pals and zeroed in on me. I felt like a mosquito with a huge can of Raid pointed my way. There was nothing I could do, and he did something to me. And I got thrown back to the lower astral and then back into my body. And my whole body was just vibrating with this weird, very unpleasant energy. But I thought I had escaped, to be honest with you. I thought I had gotten away pretty easily until I started astral projecting. I found that I could no longer leave the lower astral, which of course is the lowest plane right above the physical. And while there is knowledge to gain there, it's a very depressing place. It's a place of earthbound spirits trapped, hopelessness, hate, lusts, drug addiction, you name it. It might be a fun Friday night for some people, but I found it very unpleasant. So, since that time, I have been trying to do my best to astral project in the lower plane and bring you guys some interesting content just based on what I could get there. But obviously, I want all my abilities back again. So, this is where this part of the story starts up again. Okay, it was Wednesday night, Thursday early morning, and I left my body. But instead of that heavy feeling I expected, I felt light and energized. A clear beam of information reached me, calling me to come. I recognized the call. With an exertion of will, I stretched forward and I aimed for the origin of the call. I arrived in the great hall that I had seen before with its ionic Greek columns and buzzing multitudes of all sorts of folks. Now, to say I was overjoyed at this point would be the understatement of all time. Standing there and waiting for me was my angel friend. I said, "You did it. I'm cured." He said, always ready to throw a bit of water on my fire, "I'm afraid I didn't do anything. Your body has merely adjusted to one of the symptoms of the damage done to you." Of course, that took the wind out of my sails. I said, "I don't understand." He said, "On Earth, you experience various symptoms from your diseases. Sometimes, after a period of time, your physical body temporarily compensates for the damage being done, and the symptoms may abate. That is what's happening to you. Your inability to astral project out of the lower astral was just a symptom of the injury done to you by the master." So I said, "The master gave me some disease?" My angel said, "Much worse than that. He violated universal law to accomplish what he did. He corrupted your soul matrix. For this great crime, he is being severely punished as we speak." I said, "I don't care if he's being punished or not. Can I be cured?" The angel said, "Yes." I said, "Just yes?" He said, "I told you I had to get permission from my superiors to heal you, remember? I said, yes, of course. I made that crack about bureaucracy. He ignored my weak attempt at humor. What must be done to permanently correct the damage the master did is dangerous and could lead to soul dissolution. I said, soul what? Look, I don't understand what's going on here. What exactly is wrong with my soul? He said, it's difficult to explain with your level of understanding. I was starting to get a little pissed here. I said, try. He said, I'll use the language for your primitive computers. It's inexact to say the least. I said, fine, whatever. So evidently the master corrupted your soul matrix file. There's no way to patch or repair it. We must uninstall your soul and then reinstall the original uncorrupted copy. It took me a while. I had to take all of this in. A question came to me. I said, well, where will you get an uncorrupted copy of my soul? Unfortunately, I forgot to make a backup recently. I'm always like that. I never back up files. Anyway, he ignored my sarcasm once again. He said, don't worry. I took the precaution of doing so when you joined the Astral Guide School program. I said, you what? Who gave you permission to do that? He said, well, it's not standard procedure, but I thought it wise with someone as unpredictable as yourself. This was all hitting me pretty hard, guys. I said, look, this is insane. You realize that, right? He just stood there and didn't see anything. I said, okay. How dangerous is this soul uninstall, reinstall? He said, there is danger. If the process fails, you will be lost. I said, lost? What the hell does that mean? He said, your soul matrix will cease to be. That which is Rick will be gone from the universe forever. Of course, your present physical body will terminate as well. I can't believe this, I said. I didn't do anything to deserve this. I said, listen, what if I refuse this procedure? I mean, I can't astral project like normal now, so how bad can this soul damage be? The angel said, the procedure is voluntary. No one will force you to undergo it. So then I said, okay, then I'm not going to do this. I'll take my chances. Maybe I can beat it. Maybe I can beat this whole thing. And he said, what about your family and friends? Well, that pulled me up pretty short. I said, I don't understand. What does this have to do with them? The angel said, the corrosive effects of the soul damage work slowly. You have proven fairly resilient to its symptoms so far. But have you felt anything different? More anger, perhaps? Between you guys and me, I have been experiencing some bouts of anger. They seem to come out of nowhere, but I had been able to suppress them with some force of will and some light meditation. But anyway, I could tell the angel was looking at me all while I was thinking this. And he said, I see the answer is yes. Your personality will gradually change. Very slowly, over a period of years. You will become cruel, angry, and eventually violent. Those closest to you will experience the negativity first. Of course, others will eventually suffer as well. I said, enough. I won't risk my family and innocent people over this. This is my fault. What do I have to do? With that, we disappeared from the hall. When we reappeared, we were standing on the precipice of this enormous black pit. I couldn't see the far edges of it, and as I looked down, my impression was that it was very deep, but no bottom was visible. We just stood there for a few moments, and I looked at the angel with the silent question. He said, "You must throw yourself down." I said, "That's it? Just throw myself into some bottomless black hole?" Angel said nothing. I leaned over to peer down into this cavernous opening, and I thought to myself, how do I get into insane situations like this? My mind was racing. The question that came to me was, will it hurt, this soul process? The angel said, "There will be no pain in your understanding of the word. Instead, if all goes well, you will be reborn anew." Great, I thought. More cryptic statements when a simple no or "you'll be fine" would have been a lot better. I stood there over this enormous chasm. I tried to think of some sort of appropriate last words, you know, just in case. Suddenly, some words from David Tennant's Doctor Who came to me out of nowhere. So the only thing I could think of to say was, "I don't want to go." With those words still hanging in the astral air, I threw myself down into the pit. Okay, guys, I hate to do this, but we're going to have to finish the rest of it next week. This is bringing up a lot of emotions for me, and I don't think I can get through the rest right now. I hope this was something that you liked. If it was, please hit the like button. Share it with those of like minds. Any questions or comments you have, of course, I will appreciate them. And as always, I'm Rick, and I will see you on the astral plane.